What did you learn from tonight's performance, result, and also what you need to use these matches for ahead of France?
Yeah, I think we know before we kick a ball we're going to be up against a tough Northern Ireland team, well organised, very experienced. And even if we're going into the game at our strongest, it was been a tough one. Obviously we had quite a few bodies missing, but then you learn about other players, like I said before, in the week to the build up to the game. It gives us a chance to look a bit closer. Players like Lloyd Isgrove and Danny Ward's had a chance tonight. It's nice to give them a bit of experience. So sometimes it's more than the result, And even had we not got the equaliser when we got it, I still wouldn't have been too disappointed, because the bigger picture is we've got more bodies now with more international experience building up to this tournament in the summer. So, but I was pleased with the guys. It was a difficult pitch. It was very, very slippery, and we tried to pass the ball. That's how we play, and we were brave. Even when we 1-0 down, we didn't go route one and start panicking. We, and that's how the penalty came about. So I was really pleased with the guys and how they went about their business tonight. It was a tough game for us. I think we had something like 65% of possession, and it goes to show, doesn't it? For all our possession, if you don't create chances in the last third and you don't score, it doesn't matter. But I was pleased with the guys. I thought went about their business well. We learnt good things tonight. How about a lot of the lads who all they're lacking is experience? They got a bit more tonight. So no, I'm not displeased.
How difficult is that balance between experimenting with players and obviously not going the whole hog with the results as well?
Yeah, it's always at the end of the day, no matter whether you're playing for your country, your club, or whether you play in park football, everybody wants to win. You brought up with that mentality. We've always, before you can mention winning, you've got to talk about preparation, preparing a team and preparing them mentally, physically, tactically, technically. There's a lot goes on, and you've got to try and create an identity, which I think we've done. So the players that come into this camp, some of them haven't been with us for a long time. Lloyd Isgrove has never played for us. Danny Ward's first game. So you're preparing them, across the board for international football, which is not easy for them either, Sometimes it's a real eye-opener for players who've never experienced it. So it was important tonight. And I was happy with the guys who have been here for a long time, more experienced. They looked after them and always talking to them, making them feel a part of it. And that's important. And they know when we walk on the pitch, we've got to produce a performance for Wales. It's an honour for us to represent Wales, and the players know that. And I can't remember the last time where they've walked off the pitch and I felt disappointed that they didn't really meet the challenge. So, and again, nothing to suggest tonight that they didn't give what they had, worked hard. We found it difficult to break Northern Ireland down, but they were very well organised and strong and experienced. But we got what we wanted out of it tonight. We didn't lose, which is important because we were 1-0 down with 5 minutes to go. So we got something out of the game, which was a result. I think more importantly for the stage where we're at, going into this tournament, one or two of the lads got a bit more experience and they got a taste of it. And that just makes the group that we've got, the strength and depth, a little bit bigger going into the summer, which is the most important.
Chris, as well as those getting their first cap, like George Williams, and started for a couple of years, what did you make of his impact in particular?
Yeah, he's a good player. George, he's one of those, he's fearless, he's not worried about what defender he's up against, and I've seen him up against some real good defenders. He's come on sub for us quite a lot. So I like George. I think when he's at his best and he's at his fittest and he's most confident, he's got a lot of questions to ask defenders, and I like that in players, especially young players who like him. He's very courageous when he's got the ball. But he needs games, and he needs more games. Because he was out for a long time with a nasty injury, So it's not going to happen overnight for George. He needs a lot of games. He needs to be playing week in, week out. He's done the right thing by going out on loan, dropping down in division. Because players at that age, they need games. and that's even ones who have not been out with a long-term injury. Harder for him because he was out for a long time. He needs games week in, week out, and that's when we'll see the best of George Williams.
Chris, you had to do without quite a lot of players, and you've made that clear. But what did you feel you learnt about it, and in terms of how you're going to cope with if you have to do without these players again in the Euros?
Yeah, I think every game's different. I think before we get to the Euros, we've got to go to Ukraine and we've got to go to Sweden. 2 tough games. 2 games in which we learn a lot about ourselves. I've said all along, if you're going to arrange a friendly, I don't like that word, but that's what they're called. You need tough ones. You need games. You're not going to learn anything if you're going to play against a country, no disrespects, that you're going to win 3-4-0 and you know you're going to win. What do you learn from that? It's against countries that are going to give you real tough games. They're going to ask you questions. International football, the squad's never the same from one game to the next. It's the same for most countries. That's how it is. So whatever group I've got, whatever players we'll see in the next 24, 48 hours, how the players are, how they've recovered before we go to Ukraine, and then I'll know what team I'm going to pick. And then building into the summer, of course I know in my head who I'd like, providing everybody's fit, who I'd like to take with me, what formation, what players, ideally. But between now and then's a long time. And football, in football things change. But like I said earlier, one thing I know about the group of players we've got, they rarely disappoint us in terms of their input and their mentality. So whoever turns up, we know first and foremost they've been given their best and they'll do their best.
Chris, do you have given that you're going to look at recovery now, the players now, do you have already in mind the starting level you want to have for Ukraine and what you want to get out of those opponents? Gathering all the information you need.
Yeah, I've had it all week, to be honest with you. The team that was playing tonight and the formation, and the team that's playing against Ukraine and the formation was never going to be the same. So that hasn't changed. The only thing that will change it is what we'll see in the next day or so. We'll see how the players recover, and that'll dictate whether I can stick to what I want to do, or maybe I'll have to change my plans.
Not that it matters greatly, but did you think it was a penalty or not?
Do you know what? I'm going to give you an answer which you're going to think I'm on the fence, and I swear to God I haven't seen it. From what I thought it was, but I may be wrong because it's my player, and it was a bit of a melee in the box. So I'm going to say yes because I haven't seen it again. And if I watch it again, I'll be honest. If you ask me it the next time you see me, I'll give you my honest answer because I have not seen it a second time. Brilliant for him, yeah. I was pleased for Sam Vokes, how Robson Khan, who's not here, is one type of player when he plays down the middle for us. Sam Vokes is a different type, and Simon Church is different again. So it's good options for us. Great for Sam Vokes. I thought he did great for us. He looks really good. And we brought him off because we got another game coming up. Not because he wasn't a threat. I thought he was great. And then for Churchy to get on and then score the penalty, earn the penalty and score it, I was chuffed for him. Because the first questions people ask me in these press conferences at every international get together is Gareth Bale and Ramsey. Understand that. But from my point of view, you Sam Vokes and you Simon Churches, they never ever fail to be here. They always do their best for us. Great guys to have in the dressing room, and they're playing very well at the minute. So we got good options there, and it's that's pleased. I'm pleased for Simon and Sam. Exactly right. And there's the proof there that you're playing every week for your club. It makes a huge difference. Even if you're playing every week, even if you're not maybe at your best, you're still playing. And when you're not, it's difficult. You get into a bit of a rut. You get stale. You lose your rhythm. And Sam's great. Sam. He had last year or just before that, he had a bad injury himself. It's taken him a bit of time to get back and find his feet, but now he looks really, really good. He looks strong. And the same with Simon Church. He's brave enough to go out on loan up to Scotland. With Aberdeen, he's doing great. He's scoring goals. Got another one tonight, so good for the pair of them.
Sam obviously had his Premier League season taken away from him
by
the injury. Do you think he belongs at that level?
I think he's good enough to play in the Premier League. Yeah, he's a different type. You think of Premier League strikers. There's not many like Sam. But I think if you play to his strength, we're not really a team that like a 4-4-2 team that gets wide and crosses. We need to cross a bit more actually, especially when he's playing, because he likes attacking the cross. We normally build up play, slide passing and stuff like that. But if we play to his strengths when he's on the pitch a little bit more in the last third, when we throw the ball in the box and trust him, he'll get on the end of a lot of crosses, because he's very strong, very powerful, good timing. And when he's at his best, at his fittest, and we've seen it tonight, he's a handful for any centre-back, I mean, the centre-backs for Northern Ireland were very good players, I think, experienced Premier League players, very good. And I thought he did very well against them. So I certainly think, for Sam as well, he missed that season with his knee injury in the Premier League, as you rightly said. I think he sees it now. He wants to make up for that season. I think Burnley, I think they've got a great chance of being promoted, and I think if they do, I don't see Sam, being maybe a third or fourth striker. I think from 1 minute tells Sean Dyche how to do his job. He's doing a great job there. But Sam Vokes on his day for sure can cope in the Premier League.
Okay, thank you.
So one last thing. I don't know if you're aware that Johan Cruyff sadly died
Yeah.
today. Could you say what he meant to you as a footballer?
I think he was one of the best players that's ever walked onto a pitch. A brilliant coach. If you look at Barcelona now, that didn't just happen. That happened because one man went to that club and started it all, and that was Johan Cruyff. He started the ball rolling there. He put in place the type of football that Barcelona are playing. And I never met him, unfortunately. But football great, one of the best players and one of the best coaches the game's ever seen. So, yeah, it's sad. Sad he's passed away.